Welcome back, everybody. You are just in time for What's Hot, where we talk about the stories that have us all talking.
We're joined today by Barb Bartline from the People Pro, and Jeff Wagner is back. So a TSA agent is accused of criticizing a 15-year-old girl for wearing this, saying it was too revealing. The teen's father says he got a text message from his daughter saying the agent told her to cover herself up. Does a TSA agent have the right to criticize a teenager's clothing?
No.
That's an easy answer.
No. Not unless it's his teenager or her teenager. I'm with you. I mean, look, air travel is difficult enough. And I mean, I appreciate we have to all go through all these different searches and stuff. The TSA folks are there to make sure that we're who we say we are and that we're not bringing stuff that we shouldn't onto airplanes. Beyond that, let somebody else play the fashion police.
So you wouldn't look to them for fashion advice? Is that what you're saying, Jeff?
Well, I'm saying I don't want them criticizing my fashion choice.
No. Well, honestly, she could be wearing a lot worse.
Well,
if you look at what a lot of teenage girls are wearing, she could have been a lot more scantily clad.
Having said that, though, I do have to defend the TSAs just a bit because I travel a lot. And I think in the last 2 years, they've gotten a lot more polite, a lot more considerate. Clearly, there's been some customer service training. I think this guy was an outlier. I really do.
Yeah, it doesn't reflect, the entire group.
You want to talk about a job. See, I'm with you on this one, Barb. You want to talk about a thankless job.
Yeah.
I mean, you work at the TSA, you're going to be looking at, hundreds of thousands, millions of packages going by and people, and almost all of them are going to be benign. But if you ever miss that one, you know that you're going to be held up and it's going to be a huge problem. So I mean, it's a thankless job. You couldn't pay me enough to do that job.
Nobody wants the service.
Yeah. TSA needs to stick to the script, though, and not ad-lib about.
Yeah, just because it's in your head doesn't mean it needs to come out of your mouth.
That's a good lesson. Maybe we'll make that a Wagner's rule.
Talking to me?
No, I'm just in general.
Coming up next, why Sesame Street created a Muppet to have a parent in jail.
Now more of What's Hot.
Again, Barb Bartline, the People Pro, is here, and Jeff Wagner, the Radio Pro, is always with us. Okay, a Brimfield police chief is using the department's Facebook page to criticize criminals and interact with the public. He uses the term mopes, talks about the stupid, the silly, and the outright unlawful in Facebook posts. His blunt opinion has fueled an increase in the Facebook page's likes. Is this a good idea?
It sounds like some portions of my radio show from day to day. Absolutely.
We get press releases like this from a certain law enforcement officer in Milwaukee County.
I mean, this guy calls them like he sees it. I mean, I love some of the post things. It's like, hey, parents, if your kids are cooking meth, I mean, what is wrong with you? I mean, it's obviously he is a character, but I don't see any problem with this.
I kind of like him too, and part of what he's doing, and I do approve of it, is he's kind of shaming people when they do go outside the law or when they are getting into trouble. And I think some public shaming has some value. Maybe it's not going to affect the hardcore criminal, but the average Joe might think twice.
I mean, judges do it in some of their sentencing. This is just maybe a better and more immediate avenue. There was one case where a suspect was being arrested, and he realized that was the chief on scene, and he asked him not to post about him, and of course the chief didn't listen. He still did.
Yeah, and the public loves it. I mean, his likes are going up. I mean, he's obviously touched a nerve. So what the heck?
All right, topic 3.
Yes, the newest Muppet to Sesame Street is bringing an unexpected issue to the table. Meet Alex. He is the first Muppet ever to have a father in jail. According to a Pew poll, 1 in 28 children in the U.S. has a parent behind bars. Sesame Street decided to tackle the issue with an online tool and a new Muppet to support and comfort children dealing with a jailed parent. He's not going to be an everyday character, an every episode character. He'll kind of come and go, and they're saying, look, we've looked at divorce and other issues over the years that have become prominent in society. This is just the next step.
I think this is really a sad statement of what's happened to the prison population in the United States. We have less than 5% of the population in the world, but 25% of the prison population. The population in prison was fairly stable until the 1970s, when the war on drugs and being tough on crime came into play. And now so many people are incarcerated, we have to have a Muppet to support the children. I think this is reflective of a much bigger problem.
Well, that's one we're going to disagree on, because my response is, if you don't want to go to jail, don't commit crimes, and maybe it'll be simpler than that. The whole concept of I mean, I guess it's tough for me to get worked up one way or the other on this issue. And Sesame Street typically knows what it's doing. I give them a lot of respect for this. At the same time, I guess my concern is this is not a normal situation, a parent in jail. And so the question is, do you make it seem more normal?
Sesame Street is good, though, of helping kids deal with tough stuff. I mean, I grew up with Sesame Street. My first experience with death as a kid was when Mr. Hooper died on Sesame Street. I remember that very vividly. It really helps kids learn about the tough stuff you deal with in life.
But I would say if your father is incarcerated and the child, this child's having a problem, that hopefully the other parent or family members would seek some kind of counseling that's a little bit bigger and more reaching than just Sesame
But this is
Street.
subliminal. It gets to the kids very painlessly.
I think the real question is going to be, how does this play out? I mean, what are the plot lines going to be? Is this an effort to sort of normalize a situation I think we'd all agree shouldn't be treated as a normal thing?
I don't know that they're going to do that.
No, that's what I say. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're finished with that topic.
I think we're done with that. We'll take